All right, let's get right into it. Google just dropped a bombshell, really. It's an announcement that's going to fundamentally change how we think about AI. We're moving way beyond just simple assistance. We're talking about true autonomous agency. And it's all powered by their brand new model, Gemini 3, and a platform that, honestly, it could change the game for good. And this quote from Sundar Pichai, Google's CEO, just hits the nail on the head. He says AI has gone from reading text and images to reading the room. So, what does that actually mean, reading the room? It's not just about raw intelligence. It's about perception, nuance, understanding the context of what you're asking. It's a whole new level of smarts. And that is the new era they're gunning for.
Okay, so what's the engine behind all this? Well, it all comes down to the brain of the operation, the brand spanking new Gemini 3 model. And look, the numbers here really do tell the story. Gemini 3 Pro basically just showed up and immediately rocketed to the top of the Alameda leaderboard. And if you're not familiar, that's a huge benchmark for how well these models perform. It snagged a score of 1501. This isn't just a little step up. This is like a new king of the hill just arrived. And the capabilities of this thing, they are wild. We're talking about PhD level reasoning. It can tackle super complex exams, and it's setting a whole new bar for understanding everything, not just text and pictures, but video and audio too. But the real kicker, especially for developers, is that it's being called the most powerful model ever for what they're calling agentic coding. And that's this idea of an AI that can actually do things on its own. We're going to get way more into that in a second. So let's talk about the tool that actually puts this powerful new engine to work. Google's pulled the curtain back on this experimental platform, and it's got a seriously cool name, Antigravity. This is where that whole idea of agentic AI stops being a concept and starts getting real, especially for developers. Okay, so what even is an agentic development platform? The key thing to get here is that this is so much more than just getting suggestions for code. This is an environment where you can give the AI a big picture goal, and it just goes. It figures out the steps, it writes the code, it even runs the tests, all by itself, to get the job done. And this right here just lays it all out perfectly. The AI assistant you're used to, it suggests things, it works with you. But an AI agent, it executes, it works for you. You see the difference? It's a total shift from being just a tool in your toolbox to being an active, autonomous partner. The best way I've heard it described is this. Just imagine you have a junior developer on your team, but this one is hyper-competent, ridiculously fast, and you can just delegate an entire project to them and they'll run with it. No hand-holding needed. That's the dream that a platform like Antigravity is selling. Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like when you're using it? Let's break down how the agent actually works inside Antigravity. So it all kicks off with a prompt from you. But we're not talking a tiny prompt like write this one function. No, you give it a big, ambitious goal, something like build me a flight tracker app. And from that, the agent comes back with a whole plan, a strategy for you to look over. You give it the thumbs up, and bam, it's off to the races. It's writing code, it's using the terminal, it's even firing up a browser to test what it's building in real time. And at the very end, it doesn't just dump a folder of code on you. It gives you a full walkthrough of the finished product. Insane. Now, this next part is maybe the most important piece for actually building trust, because the agent isn't just working in some black box. It gives you what Google is calling verifiable artifacts, which is a fancy way of saying it shows its work. You can see the task list, you can see the implementation plan, you can even check out screenshots and browser recordings of it testing its own work. It's all about transparency, right? Which you absolutely need if you're going to hand over the keys to an entire project. And the stories coming from early testers are kind of mind-blowing. Take Max Weinbach from Creative Strategies. He gave it a really tricky task. Hey, create a WatchOS app for my existing iOS app. Now, this isn't simple. You've got data syncing, matching the user interface, integrating with HealthKit, the whole 9 yards. And Antigravity apparently did it in one shot. But you know how it is with brand new, cutting-edge tech. There's always a gap between the perfect demo and what it's like to use it day to day. So let's get into the real-world reception, the hype and the hurdles. I mean, on one hand, the praise has been through the roof. The words people are using are things like absurdly good. Testers are saying it has this incredible nuance and can get you like 80% of the way to a final product on its own, which is just miles ahead of what we've seen before.
But then there's the other side of the coin. It has not been all smooth sailing. One of the biggest gripes you'll see from early adopters is about the free credits. This comment from Hacker News just sums it up perfectly. The platform is so powerful that people are literally burning through all their free access in like 20 minutes. And then, what do? You go back to your old tools. So let's just lay it all out. The pros, they're huge. We're talking insane productivity boosts. It's all built on VS Code, so it feels familiar. And that autonomous browser testing is a game changer. But the cons are just as real, at least right now. Running out of credits, getting server overload errors, not to mention legit security questions, and it not always playing nice with other extensions. Bottom line, it's incredibly powerful, but it's definitely still a preview.
Okay, but here's the thing. This super powerful engine and these agent ideas, they're not just for developers. The concepts we just saw in Antigravity are already starting to pop up for the rest of us inside the Google products you and I use every single day.
So for example, in Google search, they have this thing called generative UI. You could ask about a mortgage, and instead of just getting a bunch of blue links, it might build you an interactive calculator right there on the page. Or in the Gemini app, there's dynamic view. You can put in a vague idea for a trip, and it will generate this beautiful magazine-like itinerary for you. And for people who subscribe, the Gemini agent is starting to do some really heavy lifting, like digging up a specific receipt from last year, and then organizing your whole inbox around it. It's pretty wild. And if you zoom out, you can see the bigger picture. What Google is really doing is laying the foundation for one single general-purpose agent, an agent that knows you, that can work across search and Gmail and your calendar, all your stuff, to actually help you get things done in your life. So where does all this leave us? What does it all mean? I think what we're seeing here is the very, very beginning of a huge shift. We're going from AI as a simple tool to AI as a truly autonomous collaborator. And that leaves us with a really big, kind of provocative question. When AI can take a big idea and just autonomously build it, test it, and deliver a finished product, what's left for the human creator to do? Our role has to change. We stop being the ones laying the bricks, and we become the architects, the visionaries, the directors. The entire future of work and creativity is literally being rewritten as we speak. What an absolutely incredible time to be watching it all happen.